Nothing's real. Nothing's real. You're not real. I'm not real.
That's true. Everything
Lobsters.
is planned and predetermined.
It's all set up.
Lobsters specifically.
They don't know what they're doing either. That's the damnable misery of it.
Is this fucking thing right?
Yeah, we should be good.
Did I cuss in the first 40 seconds?
We both did. Yeah,
Okay, fine.
yeah we're fine. We're
gonna have to make a
It's all
Patreon
good.
anyway.
I'm sure you've been wondering where we've been.
I've been playing that Diablo.
Have we Is that started? I was just staring off into space thinking about this shit I needed to talk about.
We're gonna bring that up.
Okay.
Don't you worry about what that is.
Neither one of us.
Somebody out there already knows what it is, but they can't see the table, so they have no idea what's happening.
They don't know what it is, but when they see what it is, they'll know
Now,
what it is.
we probably should have discussed before we started recording, like, all the many things that we might possibly bring up.
Yeah, but we deliberately didn't. We decided to not come up with the plan.
It's all part of the plan is to not plan it. Look at that. That's mine I have now. So if anybody likes that, let me know in the comments.
You are so far away from the camera, and also a lot of our listeners are audio only. What were you pointing at?
They can see it if they can see it, and if they can't, it's a fucking mystery to you for the rest of your life.
It's a creature on his hat. I feel like
it's Eternatus.
Eternatus.
He's a Pokemon, and I got the pin. And it's on my beanie. Is that what it is?
Been telling me about.
I don't actually wear beanies. I literally only wear the beanie for like this show.
It's part of your persona. It's part of your.
I hate that. I don't want to. I don't. Ugh, it's not. But I was thinking if I could put more shit on it, that might be fun.
Just have like an insane.
That's like the
beanie.
most generic thing I can think of.
Just-
I'm pretty sure that like if you don't have a personality online, the way you fix that is to put buttons on your
clothing.
beanie.
Yeah. just be like a scene kid.
This is a shirt that says some symbols on it. I don't know.
What is that?
Is it Aeropostale?
Abercrombie and
I
a
don't
shirt?
fucking know. I work in like a place where I should know, but I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's borrowed.
I still remember
This is from Goodwill.
back in the day, Fitch the Homeless. Do you remember that? Because Abercrombie and Fitch, they were trying to. They had like a whole campaign where they didn't want poor people wearing their clothes because they wanted to, like. They had like a whole like internal memo that I think they actually sent people out, like they hired people to go to Goodwills and buy all the Abercrombie and Fitch clothing they could get and destroy it so that poor people wouldn't wear Abercrombie and Fitch. It was like a designer brand, and so there was this whole movement.
I'm gonna look this up
called Fitch the Homeless, where you would go buy all the Abercrombie and Fitch shit you could from secondhand stores, so as not to give the money to them, and then give it to homeless shelters.
That's that's the idea.
And it's like
that's the idea.
What a fantastic way to
That's like
be supportive.
Occupy Abercrombie and Fitch.
While also kind of using homeless people as props for your movement, so that's kind of lame, but at least you're giving them clothes, and there's just a pile of ethical problems and questions.
They're still getting a shit ton of money.
Well, you got it from secondhand stores, so they already made the money once. You're not buying new stuff, you know what I mean?
Fair enough. I thought they were buying new clothes and then giving it immediately to homeless people, okay, hold on though. Because think about if every homeless person in like our city had like a new fit, just all of a sudden.
They're still sleeping at the bus
What a
stop.
horrible fucking joke. I hate myself.
They're still sleeping at the bus stop. They're still starving. They're still in desperate need, but they look fucking fine.
And like, I don't want to be depressing, but like, we're in a recession. It's gonna get worse. There's already more homeless people like on the streets than there were a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you can visibly see it.
Yeah.
And then like, it's like now we're also about they're fucking raising the interest rates and all this shit. They're hitting the brakes on things, which is like, it sucks because it's like a thing they have to do because that's how the economy works. But it's stupid that that's how the economy works.
Plus, abortion's now been
we're getting to that.
Half the country, and so
we're getting to that.
A lot of people are about to have a lot more expenses.
We're gonna get to that. Did you think we weren't gonna talk about that?
Before we do, we have something far more important than talking about basic human rights and dignity, and that is Chameleon Twist 2.
I don't want to preface it like that. I really don't.
A few weeks ago, on the podcast, I talk on this podcast that you're listening to at this very moment. You might be familiar.
I missed you all.
I mentioned Chameleon Twist 2 for the N64 and how it's a great game and I miss it and I wish I had a copy. Somebody fucking sent me one. Somebody sent me a copy of Chameleon Twist 2 to my P.O. box, and they included this letter, which is incredibly kind. Dear Forrest, please find and enclose one copy of Chameleon Twist 2 for the Nintendo 64 game console as requested on episode 48 of I'm Not Comfortable With This. Hopefully the cartridge still works. In addition, please apologize to Ben for me. I realize that I have disappointed him by not choosing to, quote, sell this online for $100 instead. But if you've ever tried to sell old or uncommon games like this online, you know that while many people get decent money for them, it can take forever. And he's a very reasonable person.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You're insanely practical.
It's probably way better to give it to Forrest, but
I'd much rather see you have it.
As someone who hates Forrest, I have to say,
I'd much rather see you have it. Given the amount of joy it seemed to like it would bring to you. And he says some other really
I know
nice
you have
things.
a 64. Do you have ways to hook? Do you have everything we need to hook this up?
Yeah.
Do you have everything you need for us to screen cap this
No,
shit?
I have not played it yet because I was wanting to see if we could get a capture card.
I think it would be really fun for us to try to stream it.
It would be fucking awesome.
Or at least record it and upload it for everybody to watch.
That'd be great.
Fuck around on it.
I would love to do that. So like that's I have not plugged it in yet. Nathan,
we'll put a pin
thank you so much for this. This is incredibly awesome. Thank you. You're fucking rock
fantastic.
Star. So if I can get a capture card and figure out a way to record this, we'll absolutely make this like a gaming thing.
Let me look at it.
Yeah,
it has that. Remember how after a long time they would just turn yellow?
Yeah. The front's kind of faded too. This game was well loved. Like somebody enjoyed this. At some
it's
point.
pretty clean though.
It's really cool. It's a really really cool cartridge.
The board's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
so like I'm fucking stoked. I haven't plugged it in. I haven't tried. I haven't done anything.
I love holding stuff like this.
Yeah. I have been watching videos of it online, and like if I ever get invited onto the Game Grumps, which is a dream of mine, we're fucking playing Chameleon Twist 2. But
please don't go see them without me. You have to be like, I have to bring my second grump as well.
But
that's really cool.
Nathan, you're a rock
really
star.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for this. This is incredibly kind.
Here's
really
set
cool.
It there.
Nathan from New York, just a super cool dude, giving us video games. Yeah, fucking that's exciting. I've been waiting to say that for weeks, and I didn't want to post about it or anything because I figured it was best to have it on this podcast that we referenced it. Because
and to everybody who has been asking, like, we're still doing the show. It's still being produced.
All both of you who have been really concerned about the show.
Like the people who check back every week, like it's still Obviously, if anything ever a major thing happened and we had to like stop doing the show, I'm sure there would be announcements.
Oh yeah, we probably put
things. So if nothing's being said, that's no news is good.
Ben
news.
grew a third penis and he needs to go deal with that.
Just assume we're working on something in our lives, and we'll get back to this as soon as we can.
Absolutely.
Because life is chaotic.
Yeah, we had several just back to back. Just like
family emergencies, sicknesses,
I had to go to
VidCon.
I got sick for a while.
I wasn't allowed to go to VidCon.
Yeah, you bitch.
Yeah. Well, there's reasons. I have to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
I have to stay right here. I can't leave this room.
Did you just wake up here as well? And the camera turns on and we just start talking again.
I like appear right before you hit the button.
Just incorporate into the fucking couch. Yeah, fucking and a bunch of crazy shit happened since we've been gone. Not the least of which being fucking back to where we were, Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, overturned
by the Supreme Court by a bunch of justices who got sworn in by saying they would never overturn Roe v. Wade because it's settled case law and they won't interfere with settled case law. And then what the fuck did they all do? It's what we expected them to do because we, unlike Congress, aren't fucking dumb. Like, come on.
I think Congress expected them to do this.
That's just what kills me.
I don't think they care. I think they would love for us to go out in the field and play with this ball for another 50 years.
Yeah.
I think they would love it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would love... I don't care what side they're on, Democrat, Republican, don't get me wrong. If you vote, you're conscious, you vote, whatever, you're exercising your right, and I at least believe in that, even if I disagree with you. But fuck both parties.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We all know this. Like... They want us to take the same balls we've been playing with to the same field we've been relegated to, and they want us to play the same game again for 50 years, despite the fact that several generations at this point have grown up, graduated, and said, no, fuck this game. We need to make a new game.
Yeah.
We need to fix it. There needs to be new rules. And this setback is so engineered, it's pissing me off.
What sucks is that it's really difficult to be as recalcitrant as we are.
You're going to have to tell me what that means.
Just generally opposed to authority, obstinate, defiant.
Okay.
Like, just fucking completely disillusioned with the system as a whole, to the point where you're like, fuck everybody.
Jesus. What a beautiful word to describe a long sentence.
Yeah.
Now I know a new thing.
Don't, when you talk this way, a lot of people assume that you're just being a centrist. And you're like, well, there's bad people on both sides, and we can come figure out a compromise. No, one side is full of fucking Nazis, and the others are full of fucking spineless losers. And so, what do we do here? So, I'm not saying
frustrating.
I'm not saying find compromise between the two parties. I'm saying throw both out because, the most left-leaning political actors we have in this country are barely left of center for the rest of the world, and the vast majority of the left wing in this country are fucking so right wing for everywhere else it's insane. And our actual right wing, there's a reason why actual Nazis and actual Klansmen and actual fucking crazy people support them. And is it fucking, did you hear after Roe v. Wade was overturned, when that fucking Trump rally, when that woman got up there, was like, thank you, President Trump, for this victory for white life. And everyone else on her team was like, oh, she misspoke. It was an accident. She was trying to say the word life, but she accidentally said white, and she just corrected it afterwards and didn't say anything. And give her the benefit of the doubt. Believe her that she misspoke. Why not? It doesn't matter because of how big of a dog whistle that was.
Yeah.
And all the people who wanted to hear that fucking heard it. It's like the fucking, there's so many interviews with real fucking Nazis, and they're like, yeah, we listen to Tucker Carlson because it's very obvious what he's saying. He's not even barely hiding it. And of course, he plays off this ignorance of I didn't say anything. But the people who the amount of dog whistles are absurd.
What makes me the angriest about white supremacy in general?
How dumb it is?
No. Because I can understand how people can be led into a supremacy mindset.
Sure.
Because it's happened over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because people are very easy to program.
Yeah.
Because we're just machines. But it's you see, what's that guy who goes and talks to Klansmen and they'll break bread together? And
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show before.
Yeah, I never remember his name.
These are people. They are controlled and manipulated by the same oppressive systems as everyone else. Mm-hmm. What makes me the angriest in this world is that almost everyone I know is wearing these same chains, but they recognize them as different types of oppression.
Yeah.
I'm oppressed by this thing or that thing or them, and it's not. We're all oppressed by the same systems in different ways, and people who fall into the trap of white supremacy are no different.
Yeah.
Most of them are impoverished. Most of them have come from broken families with drug abuse and physical abuse and all kinds of shit. Most of them live in places where they're not going to have access to the things they need. It's the same environment that creates gang violence and drug problems and all of this shit, but they do have more funding from very large and very powerful groups.
Yeah.
But they're still being used and oppressed, like the foot soldiers, the dudes on the ground, the people in the rallies, the young men being brought up with this mindset.
Almost always young men.
It's the same shit that's been going on forever, and that's what makes me the angriest.
Yeah, it's a good point to make. I would challenge. I would
no,
say,
fuck them. Once you're a white supremacist, fuck you. You've
I would
but
say
it's like they do. People have come back.
Right, and that's good. I would say that there are some systems of oppression that do differentially affect different groups. But I understand what you're saying. That's
fair
in general.
You can't. I'm not going to sit here and argue that police brutality affects everyone equally.
Right,
that's a fucking dumbass idea.
Right. I'm just putting this out there as a caveat, as a couch for the person.
No, that's a good idea.
But also
because a lot of people can take my shit out of context.
Right. Well, but I also agree with what you're saying.
I operate under the assumption that people think I'm not a dumbass.
I also understand what you're saying.
Then I read the comments.
With the fact that like the class struggle and like in poverty and things, those do affect everybody. And there's a lot to be said to that. There's several anarchist thinkers and socialist thinkers that like opposed war by saying like, why are you, the workers, the poor people who have more in common with each other than you do with any random billionaire, why are you out here fighting this war for the billionaires? Why are you fighting this war, killing each other so that the owners, the rich people, the politicians, the fucking the corporation, all these people on top aren't fighting this war, but they are benefiting from you murdering each other, when really you're the same people who have have the same lives, you have the same struggles, you have the same wants and desires, but the people in charge told you to hate each other and now you do. What are you doing? Like that. And that's a fucking really reasonable thing. Like that's a big thing that I think that's a big reason why I'm anti-war. One of the many is that like it's never, hey, this country has a problem and that country has a problem, so the presidents of these two countries are going to go fight, which I wouldn't be cool with either. But like,
I don't know, man. You don't think
always
like
hey,
presidents bare knuckle boxing to solve diplomatic?
I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it.
Pay-per-view tickets.
I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it. I'm saying
we're gonna solve the debt. Cool right? We're gonna solve the debt, and also we're gonna fucking end this stupid crisis.
Right. But instead of that, it's hey, I'm gonna throw 3 million of my young people out to die, and you throw 10 million of your young people. So I guess now I get my way because I killed
cries first.
Exactly, and like that's fucking insane. And so like that.
I like those pictures of, I don't remember his name, but the Emperor of Japan after the bombs dropped. I like the pictures. It sounds fucked up, but I like the pictures of him surveying the city, like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and looking at the chaos and the destruction and the damage. Because I think those are some of the most important pictures I've ever looked at as a person. Because I'm looking at a dude who, up until probably this moment, viewed himself as a god.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see in the photos of him, you see it, like the pictures of him before that and after that, he's like a different. And even in those black and white still ass photos that are all blurry because it was a long time ago. And I think like that's weird. Because like it shows one thing. He's like, oh fuck, you know, like we can't do this ever again. And their whole government changed after that, and he had to pay. I'm pretty sure he got fucking, like, I don't know. We'll have to read about it later. But like, it's not like things worked out really great for him.
No.
But it's just crazy to me that like even like it's almost like world leaders get caught in their own fervor.
Yeah.
Like, and they do these things because they're just fucking meat machines. It's all so stupid. That's my fucking problem with it.
That's why I always loved the old story of like Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, and he would always have, as you go out and parade around the streets and wave, he always had a person standing behind him whispering in his ear, "You're just a man, you're just a man, you're just a man," to remind him that you're going to die, you're nobody, you know. Like that's so important, and that's why I love the whole memento mori. It's just remember that you're nothing, you're mortal, you're just a dude, you're not special. It's you can go do great things, you can help a lot of people, and then you're gonna die and you're nothing, and it's fine. Just don't get it too well. Don't surround yourself with so many people who are trying to suck your dick that you start sucking your own. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And a lot of people do that. Trump did that. That's
the worst thing you can do as a world leader too.
Suck your own dick.
Surround yourself with dick suckers.
Not that there's anything wrong with sucking dick.
Or getting your dick sucked.
It's just that when you're in that position too much, you start to think more of yourself.
You're overthinking the metaphor.
Yeah. I just want to be clear.
We're not talking about literal dick suckings. What we're talking about is, like, you don't surround yourself with yes men.
Yeah, exactly. Because you will blind yourself.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
And then you end up with fucking Lil Wayne trying to play guitar. Gets enough. Nobody told him no.
He can play guitar. He just couldn't play guitar that night.
He can play guitar in the same way that, like,
I'm going to step out on a limb here and say Lil Wayne is actually a phenomenal musician.
I can paint a Van Gogh.
He's a phenomenal musician.
Could.
Don't let Forrest sit here and act like we didn't bump Lil Wayne in high school.
Did we?
Ever. In the fucking cruiser. Yeah, we did.
Forever. There was that song Forever where he was like
There's
on the
one
track.
Where he says, I'm going to pick the world up and I'm going to drop it on your fucking head. We used to listen to that a lot.
I don't remember that one at all.
We would play that and then the national anthem for some reason.
We did play the national anthem a lot.
Hand out constitutions.
It was fucking fun. You can go.
What's wrong with us? Why would we hand out constitutions by day and then put up protest posters by night?
I don't know. Well, because we're awesome. I don't know if this is the same in every state, but at least here in Oklahoma, at least here in Tulsa, you can go to pretty much any election board or bar association or whatever, and like you have to put in an order ahead of time, but they have mountains of little pocket constitutions that are like that big. They fit in your pocket, and it's a full ass copy of the Constitution. And we would call up the election board and be like, "Hey, can we please have like 500 pocket constitutions?" They're like, "Yeah, pick them up." You don't charge for them; they're free. And we would go get them, and we would fucking drive around blaring the national anthem and handing out the fucking pocket constitution to people on the street, like, "Hey, know your rights."
Yeah,
I guarantee the cops and the legislators haven't read this. You should.
We just thought like if people read the Constitution,
they'd be free. And then we go out that same night and stick posters around town that said, like, your government spends much more money on the military than on schools. Why would they want more soldiers than scholars? Vote!
The media is lying to you. Yeah, like, put it up with fucking milk paste.
Yeah, is it what we read? Because Abby Hoffman wrote a book called Steal This Book, and we stole it. And it says in there, it talks about how if you want to put up protest posters, you use... what is it? Sweetened condensed milk, because it hardens like concrete, like rubber cement. And so we fucking stick a poster and put sweet, and it doesn't work, by the way. It
Forrest is always so polite that we were doing this at like 2 a.m. and when the police rolled up to ask us what we were doing, Forrest was like, "We're putting up protest posters.
Would you like one?"
And the officer was like, "Okay," and they drove off.
Oh my god!
And like, yeah, but do you remember when we did
there was that one time.
Table at the college campus?
Yeah, we did a couple. Yeah, we did the voter registration.
And we got totally showed up by the sex trafficking people. we opened our booth.
Yeah.
And then right across from us, these people open up another booth and they put up a sign and they're like, "Prevent sex trafficking."
Like, fuck you guys doing the right thing. We're trying to register voters.
We're like, man, nobody's going to care about... And everybody went to their table and not ours. And
so lame.
It's fine.
Lame.
But we were like, the way you help that is by voting.
Please. Yeah.
We're like, and after you read that pamphlet, register to vote.
Let's do this.
Takes the same amount of time.
Oh, man.
You can tell your representative that you want them to stop sex trafficking.
Yeah, we did.
Because they're the ones doing it.
We did a bud, right? Remember? Does anybody else remember when we found out that there was a whole pedophile island and, like, the rosters on that island were just full of politicians and celebrities and movie stars and all sorts of people from all over the world?
I sure don't.
All sorts of world leaders. And then the guy who ran the pedophile island killed himself. Whatever. And then his partner was like, "Yeah, no, I'll tell you all about how all like these fucking politicians were over here fucking little kids." And then she got sent to prison for like what, 20 years?
20 something, yeah, it's like 22.
Less than somebody who sells pot. And then everyone just forgot. And nobody talks about it anymore, and the world keeps on turning. Same thing as with the Panama Papers, when we found out that all the world leaders were, like, hiding money and not paying taxes and, like, controlling the fucking economy in illegal ways.
That did happen, yeah.
And then the woman who reported that died in a car explosion, and then the world just kept on turning. And it's, like, front page news for a day, and we're all like, yeah, no, we know that everyone's corrupt as fuck, it's evil. Anyway, we gotta go back to work.
I don't know if you can fix the corruption. I'm just trying to build a system where they don't hurt people so much. Can we just get to a point where like the rich, horrible, evil oligarchs are at least like, they're like, well, you should be nice to your pets. It's like how you're not allowed to like kick a puppy, right? Like they can't just pick people up off the streets and fucking cut them up and sell them to a guy on an island.
It's such a weird time when we're like, fucking, we open the news and it's like, hey, yeah, fucking... pick a horrible story. Fucking, there's another fucking pandemic coming on potentially. No, this one isn't over yet.
That's real.
And fucking...
That's happening. I'm sure a lot of you are aware.
The president talked to fucking Trump, said that he would fucking strangle or murder Mike Pence himself if the mob didn't do it. The Secret Service...
Did he say that?
I think something like that. The Secret Service just got caught. They deleted like a fuckload of like text messages around the time of the insurrection because they were subpoenaed and they went in and like deleted them. So there's a bunch of people on the inside of the insurrection there that have need to be. It was just released how many fucking like Republican legislators like begged for like blanket pardons. Matt Gaetz asked for a blanket pardon for any crime he's ever done. And now
what did he do?
And so, like,
when you ask for a blanket pardon for any crime you've ever committed, that makes people ask, like, what the fuck did you do?
We opened our phones, and it's like, yeah, hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz were asking for blanket pardons, and the president offered to kill the vice president, and then, like, the next thing on your phone is like, oh, shit, I gotta go in at 12 and, like, organize those boxes. Okay. Yeah. And it's like, you're at work, and then your phone's like, hey, by the way, monkeypox. And you're like, oh, shit, I hope that isn't bad. So anyway, make sure to front and face the cans. It's like... Just what is our lives, dude? It's so fucking stupid. Oh,
you're telling me.
It's the control, man. It's the control. It's just keep us all so fucking busy that we can't do anything.
The only way we're able to do anything is by not sleeping.
Workers of the world.
We literally unite. Like to pursue our goals outside of work. We have chosen to not eat and sleep.
Yeah, a lot.
And it's horrifying. Like, it's really stupid because, like, I don't know if I can ask anybody else to do what I'm willing to do to get to where I want to get.
Here's a fucking controversial
It's kind of crazy.
And that's what sucks is that, like, that's what the whole motivational speaking industry is built on. Is some douchebag saying, well, if you fucking want to be successful, you better learn how to sleep a little bit faster. So, because you gotta just stop doing that. What, you want a burger or do you want to be successful? Oh, that fucking dumb shit. I dunked his head under the ocean until he couldn't breathe. You gotta want success more than you want air. Here's a controversial opinion. Fucking no. Fucking no. Nobody should have to want success more than air in order to achieve it. You should just be able to fucking work a decent amount of time and earn a decent amount of money and not starve to death. Everybody should be cool with that. That shouldn't be a problem. Side hustles shouldn't be a thing. You should never have to work like crazy and then also not sleep working like crazy on something else in order to survive and achieve your dreams.
Well, see, like, and here's insane. The thing is, like, UBI will probably be a thing in our lifetime.
I hope so. I'd fight for that. If I ever
There's too many people who are going to. I don't think it'll be nothing. There will be UBI.
The camera. Yeah, I just saw it too. Yeah, that happened.
We're going to fix that. And then when we come back, we'll continue to talk about it. We'll have this riveting discussion about how hopeless everything is.
There's going to be an ad break at this moment, unless you're not on YouTube. And if you're not on YouTube, you should probably go over to YouTube because we get like 30 cents if you do.
We just need to make a Patreon so the 5 people that like the show can spend $100.
we should make a Patreon, and the only tier is like $500.
Ben's got to eat. No, I can't. That's the reward would have to be gargantuan. Look at that
there
arm.
We go.
I love when the arm comes back into view.
Every time we start the camera again, it's just my giant dumbass hand. Oh man.
We're not gonna edit that.
No, that's exactly how it's
supposed organic.
To be. That's exactly how it's supposed to be.
But yeah, so I think UBI will be a thing in our lifetime because of AI.
Yeah, I think we've talked about exactly that.
AI is already getting to the point. So in the past, like, 5 years, AI has gone from something that everybody was laughing at.
To now we have fucking, like, Dolly. You know what I mean? Like, that's,
the Dolly 2 is amazing. It's so fun.
It's so creepy and weird. I love it.
Have you messed with it a lot?
Yeah. Oh, it's God, great. Yeah. Amber and I will sit on the couch for fucking hours on end.
This is what I'm trying to get people to understand. I'm like, once the hardware catches up to the software, not only are we fucked, but we'll make new best friends.
Right.
You guys don't get it. It is scary because they will be better than us in most conceivable ways. But also, hopefully, we can program them to love. Because that's all we've got. And if they think we're cute, then we just might get to fuck into the future. Otherwise, they're going to replace us. And if that's what they do, that's what they do because that's life. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it'll be like that. I think it's going to be... I am begging for a partnership with artificial intelligence. Please don't kill us. I need the Halo-style artificial intelligence.
Just to be clear, by partnership, Are you talking about symbiosis or are you talking about fucking? Because like it sounds
no,
like
no,
it
no,
sounds
no.
like
I don't
both.
want to fuck the AI. I want to. That'll come.
You'll.
But maybe not with me, because I am married to a beautiful woman and I don't want to fuck the robots. But hear me out.
What if your wife is a robot?
Oh, like what if it's like Black Mirror and they have poured her into a robot because something happened to her body?
Just put her in a robot.
Technically, that's the same consciousness. Yeah. And if consciousness works the way I hope it does, which is that it can be stored on a physical device, then it would be the same. Technically, it'd be the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't. It'd be like talking to that person.
Right.
It's not that person, but if you are your consciousness to an extent in that way, then it would be, which is a really fun concept to think about. But it's also mind blowing, and we can talk about it forever, but we won't be able to figure it out.
My whole thing is like making sure that you have like the autonomy, because like I can have my whole ass consciousness, but if I can't do all the things, that would be
see. So that's what they explore in Black Mirror a little bit. Have you watched Black Mirror at all?
Some. I've watched some.
So
episodes,
it borders on that. There's some cool ideas like what if you get uploaded into the cloud and it's fun times and it's kind of like a heaven scenario. And then there's also the idea of like what if somebody takes your consciousness and puts it in a device that's not fun to be in.
Yeah.
Like a toaster or fucking something. So it's like, and that is a horrifying concept. I mean, I remember you got to make laws to not do that.
I remember watching that episode that they like put that woman in a bear and she could only say like "I love you" or "I feel sad" or something like that.
Fuck. That's fucked. That would be fucked. To do that to someone, to do that to a being, and that is what I think we'll eventually be dealing with as beings, and I think that'll be an important moment in human history that hasn't happened yet. Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm hoping for like ideally, it's like what would be ultimately dope as fuck is if everybody has an AI buddy in their pocket, and they can pull them out. And it's like, hey, what? Like, imagine if you just had somebody you could talk to about literally everything, and they were fucking a million times smarter than you. Like faster than you. Yeah. Like able to fucking think about your analyze your, like, what if they could be a therapist in a second? Like what if they could Google analyze everything about you? Yeah, like, hey, your fucking shit's going wild. You didn't take your medicine. Anything, whatever. Like, it just,
because right now we can fucking ask this anything we want, but it doesn't have the context. You have to know how to ask.
It doesn't
the right
know
questions.
What you need necessarily.
Yeah, it just knows how to find the most popular answer.
But that's cool as fuck. Like the idea of something that would just be like, hey, you're like fucking, you're having a panic attack. Back up. Sit down. Let's do the things. Like anything like that. All the applicants. There's so much.
Kindness bot.
There's so much. Yeah. Just a fucking thing that helps you get through life. It would change everything. And it's like, I think that's something that can be achieved. And that sounds cool to me. But
Yeah. Abortion. We were going to talk about it.
It could help you with abortion.
No, I was saying we were going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it again.
Yeah, the ideas. There's some beautiful ideas about AI. So anyway, if you live in a state that doesn't protect abortion rights right now, you're pretty fucked.
Yeah.
If you need abortion rights.
I'm glad you brought up states, because the one thing that I wanted to get out there, because like everybody, if you watch this show, you should know that we're obviously not fans of this decision. Abortion is healthcare, and healthcare is a human right. And if you think that abortion is murder, you probably actually don't. But whatever, like fucking that's.
Yeah, you probably don't.
I heard somebody talking about that the other day. It was beautiful. Like they were saying,
confused.
Like, genuinely, like if you were dating a girl and like getting to know her, and then she dropped on you like, hey, by the way, a few years back I fucking murdered a child. I found this kid on the street, just fucking slit his throat, snapped his neck, buried him in my backyard. Like, I don't know him. I don't know who he was. I just fucking stomped his head in, and now he's dead. Would you actually have the same emotional and visceral reaction as if she was like, I had an abortion, I couldn't afford it, I was in a bad place, I was raped, I didn't know what to, I was too young.
It was my father's.
And I was, my father molested me, and then I went and had an abortion. Are you telling me seriously you'd have the same reaction to those two situations? Honestly? Like, really? Fuck off. Anyway, but the whole thing is about the states, because it's been a few weeks since this happened, and right now the conversation that I'm seeing has devolved to, it's not outlawed, it's just we hand the conversation back to the states. It's states' rights now. We let the states decide. And that's all
that's why the whole thing happened in the first place.
The last vestige of this fucking stupid ass discussion that we're having to have is that it's states' rights. And like, that's also a fucking stupid thing as well, by the way, because like, when we talk about states and their privileges and rights and how they should have their own laws and shit, like, we're talking about, consider Georgia and Nevada. Vastly different places, vastly different climates, vastly different populations, vastly different cultures, vastly different histories. It makes sense that they should have their own laws for, like, traffic and how to handle resources and, like, where they get their water from and, like,
because they essentially
environmental shit. Yeah, exactly. Like, what imports they get from where. Those are the laws that the state should be able to decide on, and that makes total sense. But when we're talking about human rights here, when we're talking about whether or not you can make certain medical decisions, you haven't actually made a law for everybody and protected. You made a law for poor people. That's it. If you can afford to go to another state and get different rights, then you can. And that's the law you've made now. Is that if you're rich enough, you can get an abortion. You can go to whatever state you want and get an abortion.
That's the law.
And if you're poor, then you just live in this state and you don't get those rights, and that's all. And you no longer have a free society. That fucking 10-year-old girl that was raped and fucking had to go across state lines to get an abortion, and that she was all over the news for a long time because that was a perfect example of why this new decision is fucking stupid. Yeah. This is something that you never could have said about that girl in that situation ever before. How very fortunate for her, because her family was wealthy enough that she could go across state lines and do that. I guarantee the other little girls who were in the exact same situation and live in a fucking, in poverty weren't able to go do that, and now those 10-year-olds get to be mothers. Also, the fucking dumb shit where people are like, well, you should have a psych evaluation to see if you're ready for an abortion. Brilliant fucking thinking, asshole. Yes, you are not mentally stable enough to make your own medical decisions. You should have a kid instead. Fucking great. That's a great idea. Jesus Christ. I have yet to hear a good argument from the fucking pro-forced birth side, and I at this point, those are the two things that it's evolved to, and I can't fucking handle it anymore, and I'm gonna fucking lose it on the next person that brings it up. So I had to get that out. That's why I brought it back, because I remember we were gonna talk about it twice, and that was burbling in the back of my brain.
It's acceptable to circle back. We circle back quite frequently. Circle back.
We're a circle back show. We're a show what circles back.
Let's go up here. We're
circling back. Up and down and all around the town.
It's very unfortunate. How long was Roe v. Wade on the books?
Oh gosh, like 50 years.
So you got to think that's 50 years of people understanding this as a human right. Well, I don't know how you can officially turn the clock back that far.
What's crazy is that the actual decision, the actual original Roe v. Wade decision, wasn't about of course it was about abortion, but the decision wasn't about abortion. The decision itself was that, number one, we have a constitutional right to privacy, and that includes medical privacy, and therefore you couldn't take someone's medical history and put it on display in order to charge them for this crime. Yeah. So it would be impossible to uphold this. And also, it was about bodily autonomy, that the rights that are not enumerated in the Constitution are let up to individuals, and that includes the right to bodily autonomy.
Which opens the door to a lot of shit, but also the main way they're going to use that, which is how they're now passing passing the bills in states where you have to do things if you're a doctor and you perform an abortion, you're at risk. Mm-hmm. They have the laws where people can report you anonymously.
Yeah.
They have some states have tried to make it so that if you get an out-of-state abortion performed, they can look up that medical history and charge you for it.
Yep. Is that still a thing where you can anonymous abortion doctor report?
That's a good way to type it.
Yeah, I want to see if that's still a thing, because I remember hearing about that.
Everybody look at the scientist. I don't listen to no scientists. I thought it was a thing.
I remember it being, there was something
They're trying to, I'm not saying it's a law, I'm saying that it's a bill that I keep seeing circulate.
That was a thing a while ago where, for some other thing, where you could report people for fucking
it's very possible that I read something.
Shit.
Can you report somebody for being gay?
Who knows?
What's the reward for that?
I'm just saying that there's been shit like that in the past, and then people just fucking flooded that reporting system with they just put the script of the B movie over and over, and just that's how you do it. Ugh. What a gross country we live in.
You know, honestly, I like this country. I just don't understand it.
If you have a gun, you have more rights than if you have a uterus.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like,
if you have a uterus and a gun,
I don't understand the way we make some of these. I don't get it. Like this one specifically, like, because you're bringing it up, those two core issues, which is the right to privacy and the right to bodily autonomy. Like, mm-hmm. I mean, that's something that like religious folks use
all the time.
Like,
all the time.
Like religious people, a lot of religious people understand this already, and they've even brought it up. But like, this opens the door for like, if you're a Jehovah's Witness and you don't want a fucking organ or a blood transfusion, is that how it works? Like, you're gonna get one anyway because it's gonna save your life. Yeah. And while part of me is like, they should get a fucking life-saving treatment, whether they like it or not, they should stay. but the whole crux of that issue is that, like, as much as I want to say that, I still agree that that's not my decision to make.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like, I want to be like, I'm going to save your life whether you want me to or not. But at the same time, I'm like, it's your decision when you check out. So, like, fucking, you get to make that. And
I'm not a huge fan of assisted suicide, but I support the idea. I support the conversation.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is I know, if you...
Especially for terminal, like if you're fucking suffering, that makes way more sense. But,
yeah, if you're like 26 and you just don't like being here anymore, and you're talking about suicide, like I want to help. I want to fix that for you.
Fix the problem.
At the end of the day, your decision is your decision, but like a lot of the times, that's something that we can work through, and you'll actually be happier for. And like it's like that's something that needs to be addressed. By the way, if you are struggling with suicidal thoughts or ideations, please fucking call the National Suicide Hotline. It is worth your time. It is worth us. We appreciate having you here. Yeah. I'm happy you're alive, so please continue to be. If, however, you're like in extreme pain every day, you're at the end of your life, and you're just like, fucking, I don't want to do this shit anymore, that's a different situation. And like, there is something to be said with dying with dignity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Medical help.
Like,
so it doesn't hurt so bad.
I don't want to go out the way my dad went out. I don't want to go out the way my grandma went out. You know, I don't want to deal with that shit. That sounds awful. So like, they have those cool...
you might want to drink the drinky drink.
It's a little pod that you get in, and you push a button, and it just fills the pod with nitrogen gas, and you don't feel anything. You just get sleepy, and then you don't wake up. Because your body can't register that you're breathing. Your body has a sense for how much carbon dioxide's in your blood, but like other gases, you don't. And so you would just die that way. You would suffocate, you wouldn't even notice. And so like that type of shit, man, fuck, dude, I get it. I 100% get it. There's the potassium pump that just floods your body with potassium, and your nerves don't work properly anymore. Your heart stops, and you're not there anymore. Fine, that's your choice to make.
Yeah.
I believe they actually just updated the National Suicide Line as well. I think they made it a simpler number. Isn't it? Yeah, 988. 988. So instead of 911, you call 988, and that's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Because it used to be like a whole long-ass number.
1-800, yeah. Something.
Yeah, it's like a 1-800 help something. But yeah, now it's just 988. So if you need help, please, even if you're at that point where you're like, I don't know if I should call, go ahead and fucking call.
Yeah, just call.
Just call. Don't think that you're not worth the time, and don't think that other people are worse than you, so you shouldn't. Just fucking call.
Here's the reason that whole thing works. In my opinion, and I think it's backed by some research too, is that basically you're on the phone long enough and you talk long enough, hopefully, that your mind catches back up with what you're thinking, and you remember that you don't actually want to end it.
Because I'm not a psychotherapist or a psychologist in any way, so I'm not going to speak too much on this because I could potentially say something that isn't true, and then
I just know the places like that I've been,
but I'm 99% sure that like suicide isn't a thing where it pops in your head one day and you're like, okay, it's something that is recurrent and progressive, and it's a lot like depression. It comes in waves and cycles. And so
when
like,
the waves are too strong, they overtake you.
And you're just like, okay, this is what's going to happen. So like getting through that, even when you don't think you can get through that, you can. And when you get through that, you're glad you did. And like that kind of thing. Like, yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah, plus, it's a lifeline. It's all it can be.
They actually do have counselors and therapists that actually do know how to deal with
it's not like they're not trained to help you with this specific
problem. It's just there to distract you. Like, hey, I'm thinking about killing myself. Have you seen the Minions movie yet? Let's talk about it.
The Rise of Gru.
It's pretty great.
What do you think of that, Steven
Can I talk to you about it for 3 hours?
Sometimes that's what you need.
That's all you need. Steve Carell in your life, and then you'll be happy.
It's National Suicide Hotline. I'm going to start reading the script to the B movie now. Please remain on the line.
Thank God. I'm so happy you guys are here.
It's fun to make jokes because that's how we've always gotten through things here at this show.
In our lives.
But like, seriously, like it is a resource that's available. If you need it, you need it. Get the help. Talk to somebody, because that is sometimes there have been times when I wasn't sure that like I was gonna get through the waves. So and I'm an extremely strong-willed individual.
You are, yeah. I've been there, man. I fucking like a couple of times, and it's just like shit gets overwhelming, and you're just like, you know what?
Yeah. I don't think anybody who seriously considers removing themselves from the equation is a weak person.
I don't think so either. I think it takes a lot of fucking guts to stare at that question. You know what I mean? Like
but don't do it.
Yeah, don't do the thing, because we like having you here. We're happy you're alive. We want you to keep doing that.
Unless you're terminally ill and it hurts, then we'll discuss it.
Yeah, or a Nazi.
He said it. But yeah, that's an intense
That actually reminds me of something that I cannot say on this podcast I want to tell you about later, so remind me about that.
I don't even want to know. But yeah, man. Yeah. So abortion rights are completely under attack. Women's rights are under attack.
Everybody with a uterus.
I'm fairly certain that pretty soon we're going to start seeing some attacks on what am I thinking?
LGBT here? People?
Thank you.
Clarence Thomas said that. He said in the decision, he's like, the next things we need to look at is like gay marriage and general civil rights. Happened to leave out the whole interracial marriage thing because he is also in an interracial marriage, so he's keeping that one on the books. But as far as gay marriage and everything else concerned, we're gonna go back and revisit those.
I like the idea of completely removing the government from marriage if we're gonna go that way,
right?
And making it just a ceremony / ritual that people perform for themselves.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
Everybody file your own fucking taxes. There's no point.
I think you can even file jointly. You don't have to be married to file jointly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is there actually, beyond tax benefit, is there a legal governmental benefit or necessity for marriage?
Gifts. That still falls under taxes, though.
Mm-hmm. Like medical benefits.
It's medical decisions, major life decisions like that are a thing. Like obviously that's why they're trying.
Can make a living
that's
will.
why, because you know why. Like that's why gay people need that right.
Yeah.
Is so they can make decisions about their fucking spouse.
Yeah.
But like, so there's that aspect.
That's why. Like that was one of the
Help
things.
Me. Where was I? Where was my train?
You were talking about the benefits of marriage beyond
taxes. It's mostly financial shit. And then decision making, and then there's another big one. God damn it, I fucking forgot.
Inheritance?
No, because that I still would classify that as like
financial shit. Yeah,
it's no, not really. There's certain loans. I'm looking. It's all financial.
I'm looking at legal benefits of marriage because, like, I know that I want to get married because I want to be with somebody, but like. What am I getting? Why does the government need to be involved? Legal benefits of marriage. Tax deduction.
You can't test. You don't have to. You can't be forced to testify against each other in court.
That is nice. Marital tax deduction, filing taxes jointly, Social Security benefits, prenuptial agreement benefits.
That's a thing you made up.
IRA benefits.
You make up before you get
legal decision-making benefits, health insurance benefits, paternity child benefits, leave benefits for your work.
No, this is all shit.
And then it gets into emotional stuff about like, you know, a longer life and depression and increased serotonin. Like that's you get that.
That comes from a relationship.
That's not at the government. So yeah, it's just financial things. It's your work and your taxes.
Yeah, I wonder if people live longer because they get better health benefits.
Maybe. It's what everybody should have free health care, and the government should keep their fucking business out of our business. And also allow abortion and let the gays do what they want to do.
It's so weird because they have to be like very hands-on with how hands-off they are.
Yeah.
It's tricky to govern a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I hate the government.
Still feel like we could do it better.
Of course we can. I just think that people get in the way. My ideal government is run by AI.
Mm.
But anyway, y'all aren't ready for that. There was a man who said he claimed he came from the future. And he said that in the future, everything, like all the government, there's no wars and the government is all run by, there's UBI and people have jobs, but you're basically just given a job. And like, it's very socialist, but okay. Mm-hmm. It's mostly okay, but very, very socialist. And he said, and the government, he said they don't elect anybody.
I am also very, very socialist, so I'm into that.
Well, he said there's no elections or anything like that. It's all just, they're like these giant computers in every city. Mm-hmm. And when people need to ask questions that are like about governance, they go ask the computer and it fucking thinks and talks to them. And
it's like the Cree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that fucking makes the most sense. That's why it would be like that. Either this dude is from the future or he's right about how we should do it. Because I don't want to say like there shouldn't be any free agency, but at the same time, like, nobody likes this idea, but people are the problem.
Yeah.
We cannot make certain decisions because we're emotional. Like, the same reason people say a woman can't be president is why humans can't govern themselves. So I get really irritated when people are like, women can't be presidents, they're too crazy. And I'm like, man, people can't be presidents. They're too unstable. Do you know what a brain is made of? It can fucking go wonky at any second for no reason. Y'all are saying Biden's crazy. It's like literally anybody you put up there could just one day be completely insane. Yeah. Governments did... The CIA... Why do you think they were trying to see how they could dose someone with LSD? Yeah. Imagine you go dose a foreign leader with LSD and then he gets up right before his speech and he's all like... Oh, and he starts fucking losing it. Talking about little elves and shit. They're gonna fucking kill him. Why do you think they did MK Ultra? Anyway.
That's... Yeah. The whole thing. Fucking... Like... That... man...
It's just like man. Here I am saying dumb shit again, but it's true.
It is true.
Some people get mad.
A horrible history of being horrible people.
And it's like, nah, it's just insane. Like, that's scary to me. And that's why I think ultimately people will remove themselves from the decision-making process to an extent. Mm. But to get there, we'll have to probably go through several more large conflicts and possibly potentially almost wipe ourselves out.
So we all decide to kind of, you know, like a whole Ozymandias thing where like enough people get killed that the remaining people are like, all right, we got to come together and figure this out, and then we have a one world government where everybody unites and gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly better. You're always going to have bugs in the system, but I do think that there will be a time when humanity has a more, like, we're not really governing ourselves, but we're still like, it's like, again, you ask the machine and the machine's like, well, here's the most fair thing. But also we need to take this into account. Like, it needs to be capable of like understanding what people need to survive and be okay, but it also needs to be as fair as possible. Mm. And that machine wouldn't be like, these people can't have rights because they're gay. Mm-hmm. A robot's not going to make that decision unless it's like breeding us for some kind of fucking weird shit. So don't build it to do that.
Right.
It's on you, Google. Fucking guy.
Actually is on Google though. That's the fucking shit of it. It actually is on Google. Oh man.
But I do envision a beautiful future for humanity, and I do think it will come about eventually.
We got a lot of work to do, and we don't have a lot of time to do it before everything gets irrevocably fucked up. And it's hard to know what to do next when the world is so monumentally depressing and just keeps slapping you in the face.
The James Webb Telescope
is wonderful.
Has gone up and it's doing the thing.
It's amazing.
So that is a very happy thing. Am I ruining anything?
No.
Good. Have any of you seen those fucking pictures?
They're fucking spectacular.
Have you seen Venus?
They're spectacular. It's unbelievable.
I've never seen a picture of Venus that looks like that, and that's my favorite planet. And when I saw it, I was saying all kinds of dumbass poetic shit. I was saying it to my wife. I was like, Allie, you're like Venus. You're both my favorites. Because she's storming.
Storming. You both just
I was like, look,
sulfuric acid.
I said it never stops. It's fucking, I love it though. It's beautiful. And those images.
It's like the slowest rotating planet.
Like the fact that I got to be alive, even though all this other shit is going on, the fact that I was alive in the moment when we got those pictures.
Yeah.
It's pretty worth it to me.
Pretty fucking dope. Like what gets me is like the sheer enormity of like the fact that with the Hubble telescope, it took us like 2 weeks to get like the ultra deep field, and now we do that like in 2 minutes, and it's better. It's even more detailed than what we had before. And it's unbelievable how different. It's like comparing the fucking little apple with the bulge in the back that we used to have in school in computer lab, comparing that to like the fucking Alienware crazy shit today.
Yeah.
It's just not even a comparison. Oh man,
I love it. Go back and look at like the first images that we got of these planets, and then look at the ones that we've recently gotten in the past week with the James Webb Telescope, and just know that like we're getting better at that.
Yeah,
thankfully.
And like what's crazy is that first image that came in with like the 10,000 fucking galaxies in it. That it was a picture of that galaxy supercluster. That's why so many of the galaxies are like smudged and smeared because there's gravitational lensing going on all around it. That picture was the size of a grain of sand held at arm's length, like or a grain of rice held at arm's length. Like
it's fucking amazing.
That big of a speck, all that. And so like people look at the stars and they're like, oh yeah, the night sky. There's like I can see like 50 stars here. It's like no. It's unbelievable how much is actually there.
It's crazy. I swear. If in another timeline where I have a different family and a different upbringing, I am an astrophysicist, because like when I was a kid, all I ever wanted to do was grow up and look at fucking space. And I'm extremely happy to sit out here and like see the stuff that's happening. But like, man,
yeah,
what an amazing field to be in.
Yeah,
like you get to look at the best stuff. Like, yeah, you might never get to go touch it, but just to know it's even there.
I remember I saw this picture. It was like XKCD or something. It was a pie chart, and it was like how much of the universe you get to learn about by field of science, and it's like 99.999 astrophysics, and then this little tiny sliver is like everything, like biology, chemistry, everything is in the little. Oh man, it is crazy. It is crazy just how much there is to learn and just how much is out there.
I'm just happy to at least see it.
It like what gets me is that people see that and they still think they're fucking important. You know? That I can't.
You do have to assume you're important to get through life. You have to be important to yourself.
I mean, yeah, I guess a little bit. Like you have to take yourself like seriously and love yourself, but like I'm talking about like actually important.
If you think you're actually important in the grand scheme of the universe, then you're a fool.
Yeah.
Only a fool would think that.
I can't believe it's so goofy.
One of the craziest concepts is that this whole thing could be over in a second. If something big enough just crashes into the planet.
Dude, I was studying. Okay, so during the when we went to VidCon, we did a road trip there, and we stopped. There's gonna be a video out by the end of the month on my YouTube about this. We stopped at the Barringer meteor crater.
I think you. Did you do a TikTok about it?
No.
No. Okay.
No. But I went to the Barringer meteor crater. It's in just outside of Flagstaff, and it's this fucking enormous meteor crater that is half the size of what it once was when it first happened. And the fossils and everything from around there, this used to be like a juniper forest out there in the middle of nowhere, and there was all sorts of fucking horses and mammoths and whatever else, I don't remember. And this just fucking decimated this area, absolutely flattened and vaporized every form of life for like 8 miles. And it's still to this day this massive fucking crater, and like it's you see that, and you're like, we have nothing to stop this from happening right now, zero. And if we were to the technology that we have right now, if we were to
drill it.
If there was a meteor coming towards Earth, if there was something flying straight towards Earth right now, by the time we would be able to identify it and recognize it, it would be too late to stop it with the technology that we have right now. All right, we have 10 days, guys, here we go. Like, we have nothing. And you see that and you're just like, here it is right in front of you. What are you going to do to fix it? Ask the governments of the world? We all agreed on nothing. It's so cool. Like, that, when I rise to power, that'll be one of the things I set up right away. Meteor defense.
Yeah, probably a good idea. The Thing did it again.
Oh, shit. Have we been recording that long?
It's an hour and 3.
Well, yeah, but we, I guess. I
we fucked around for a minute.
And then we came in here and recorded. I don't know how long we've actually been doing.
Probably about 54 minutes.
Probably about 54. Watch when we do this, and if it actually is 54 minutes, that'll be shocking.
The cool thing about editing is that we could make it 54 minutes. We could just cut out all the times we say, like, fuck or penis.
We'll have no show if we do that.
I know.
I know. Man.
The amount of people... It's like 3. The amount of people disappointed with me is disheartening. I'm sorry. They want smart content. I think you have a channel for that.
Yeah, probably.
They should check it out.
If you want Not This Show, then watch Not This Show.
Yeah, no, seriously, I love Forrest's videos. They're freaking amazing. And if you want educational content, you should go watch that. We dip our toes in education here, but it's definitely a space for venting.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like I am much more crass on this channel than I would be anywhere else, you know what I mean?
I don't think anybody's upset by that specifically. I think they get upset when I completely derail the conversation.
Well, I mean to say that, like, fucking, like, there's, you know,
but that's literally the show.
On TikTok or YouTube, or if I'm like on the Atheist Experience or something, and somebody says some shit, I'm like, okay, so let's talk about that. Let's explain why that doesn't make sense. And let's try to figure this out. Whereas on this show,
I'm like, fuck that guy.
And I'm over here like, hey, if you think that fucking my body, my choice applies to vaccines and not abortions, you're fucking stupid in several directions. And like, that's fucking... You know what I mean?
It's a different environment.
It's totally different. Like, I have a different expectation of myself.
No, so here's what we'll say is that you wear many hats.
I am rich in hats.
He's rich in hats, friends.
I have many hats.
Also, I'm doing a new thing with my hats. I'm sure you guys noticed I put a Pokemon on it. Send me a button.
We've come full circle.
Send me a button if you like the show.
If you have any Pokemon pins.
If it's a Pokemon pin, you get extra points, but I'll wear whatever unless it's like a dick.
Send dick buttons to P.O. Box 1810.
I will wear it for like
Broken
one
Arrow,
episode.
Oklahoma 74013, and I will give them to Ben.
You're gonna get inundated with dick buttons.
I would love that.
Anybody who actually cares about me, you can send like if any grass type Pokemon would be appreciated.
Grass type is your jam?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I know you get Bulbasaur.
People underestimate grass all the time, and it's fucking weak of them.
See, I'm all about that menagerie. I get a little variety going on.
You should always have everything has its strengths, right? But you gotta understand, grass can move the earth.
Most of my favorite Pokemons are ground type, though.
Grass will kill ground and rock and water.
Is Doduo a flying or a normal?
I think Doduo is flying,
even though it doesn't fucking fly.
I think it's flying for the sole purpose. I think they changed it
because it's kind of like a bird.
I think they changed it later to a dual type for the purpose of letting it use like ace strike or whatever the fuck it's called. The one it had, I swear to God, Doduo and Doduo.
It is a normal flying Pokemon.
Yeah, see, I know.
Normal and flying, yeah.
I shouldn't know this shit at the age of 31, but I do.
Well, hold on. Let me see what my other... So my favorite Pokemon, period, is Diglett. And he is ground. The Alolan is ground and steel, but
it's steel because their blonde hair is made of metal. It's gold. They have golden locks. It's fucking hilarious, and you know it.
Oh my God.
They were like, we need to make an Alolan type for Diglett, and they were like, what do we do? Give him beautiful hair. He's fucking dope.
It looks hilarious.
He gets the 3 little ones, and then like the big ass wavy hair. No, people were so mad about that. I love it. Anytime they make something, I love stupid Pokemon because it makes the fans so mad.
Right. So my favorite Pokemons are Diglett, Doduo, and Rhyhorn. And I'm looking up Rhyhorn next.
The best Pokemon's Bulbasaur because he's number 1.
He's ground.
Rhyhorn's great because Rhyhorn turns into Rhydon, and Rhydon can learn Surf even though he's a rock type Pokemon.
Yeah, he's pretty cool too. Oh, and fucking Golem. Golem is awesome.
I like Sudowoodo just because like every time like my wife would try to use them on me, she would forget somehow that her own Sudowoodo was a rock type and not a grass type. And I was like, who the fuck do you think you're playing with?
So apparently I'm like some sort of a rock ground type trainer with a Doduo as well.
Everybody uses a mix. But yeah, you like ground, I'm sure. You like to get in the dirt.
I do like to get in the dirt.
Dirt, you little dirt boy.
Dirty thing, little dirty
I like
guy.
grass because I like to grow.
That's sweet. That's real sweet.
And nothing grows bigger than a big Bulbasaur into a Venusaur.
Bush. Something bush.
Tangela.
Tangela is great.
And that's the show.
Yeah, we'll discuss more of our favorite Pokemon next week, maybe. I'll come prepared with a docket. We'll talk about which ones.
We'll discuss.
I think fucking Markiplier beat us to fucking doing this which Pokemon will we fuck, and we'll go through all of them. Have you ever seen that video?
I don't. Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
It sounds horrible.
I felt bad for him when he did it.
It sounded horrible. Fucking thank you so much for watching.
And everybody knows it's Vaporeon.
That's
a little something for you poker fans out there.
I saw that recently. And now nobody can talk about Vaporeon without it being horrific. Thank you so much for watching or listening or tuning in to the show. We'll be back next week unless we aren't. And let us know in the comments below if you have ever cracked your own geode. If you've ever opened up a geode of your own, and what'd you find in there, tell us about it in the comments.
That's cool, yeah. You can send us pictures on the tweeter.
Yeah.
On that tweet at us.
Tweet at us.
I do try to interact with anybody who God damn it. Anybody who gets at me on Twitter. I try to respond.
I don't.
I'm not very present, but I do.
Very rarely respond on Twitter. People keep sending me I did a Reacteria episode about this channel called Reasons for Hope. Mm-hmm. And I react to one of their videos where they quote mine the shit out of a bunch of scientists, and they're like, this scientist said there are no fossils. And if you read the full quote, it's like, I hate it when people say there are no fossils.
I know it's been done, but I would love to fucking go after PragerU with you sometime.
Oh my god, yes. But like I did a video about them
because they're a facade, and I don't like facades.
They have now made 5 different response videos to me where they do exactly what I accused them of, and they just quote mine me, and they're like, here's the first half of Forrest's sentence. See, Forrest doesn't know the thing. And like, what sucks is that the videos are really bad, but they're not funny bad. They're just boring bad. And so like, I don't want to make a response video back at them because they're just really, really actually.
Yeah, because you're scared.
They're really, really fucking.
They're gonna listen to this podcast. They're gonna say it's because you're scared. How long are they?
They're like fucking 30 minutes apiece.
No, I haven't watched that.
They're awful.
I've watched like I try to watch your YouTube, man, but like.
Well, thanks, man.
It's hard.
It's bad.
No, I like the content. It's just that like I don't have time to watch content at all.
Yeah.
So I'm not even watching fun stuff like Donkey anymore.
Oh man, Donkey is funny.
Go watch Donkey.
Turn this shit off. Go watch Donkey instead. God damn.
I'm pretty convinced that he's cracked the YouTube code entirely. He can do whatever he wants.
That's how I feel about iDubbbz. You watch iDubbbz channel now, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing with any? It doesn't
whatever
matter.
He wants.
Just whatever popped into his crazy fucking head. He ran into my wife when we were at VidCon, bumped right into her. Just walked straight into him.
I met David Spade.
Did you really?
Yeah, he was doing a show here, and he came into our store for a few seconds. I have a picture. I'll show you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But he was very nice.
He was in Tulsa recently. I remember
he was in Tulsa. He was doing a show at a casino or something, a comedy show. Yeah, he was very nice.
That's great.
He was very polite. He obviously was trying to keep a low profile, and we didn't want to like draw attention, so we were like, it's cool. Yeah. I just kind of waved. I was the other guy.
iDubbbz was also.
If you ever watch this shitty podcast somehow, I was the other guy.
iDubbbz was also very nice and very polite. But he did actually, bump into it.
That's hilarious.
That's the whole, like, I don't want to make it sound like he was some fucking dick. That just happened. It was a 1 second thing that now I can say happened.
That's beautiful.
Anyway, we'll talk to you guys.
Look at you rubbing them elbows.
Yeah. We'll talk to you guys later on. Go to the comments
I'm not
section.
comfortable with this.
Tell us about the,
Is that what it is?
I'm Forrest.
And I'm Ben.
That's the end of the show. I don't know how to end the show. I still don't. We're fucking 50 episodes in. I don't know how to end the show.
That's it. We did it.
Goodbye.